Hello, social media friends. I'm Viridiana Marquez with DRB Media Communications Digital News. And the City of Odessa held a special City Council meeting on Monday, January 9th, and Danny Barrera has the story.
The filing of a lawsuit by the Gaven Norris Law Firm against the City of Odessa and each member of the Odessa City Council triggered a do-over for the council to allow residents of Odessa to speak against the termination of City Manager Michael Marrero and City Attorney Natasha Brooks, despite the positive job performance and evaluation by the previous council.
For the two council members who were just elected, respectfully, y'all don't know where the bathroom is. So how do you evaluate and terminate someone who you've never yet had a chance to even interact with? That's our issue. I'll reiterate what our constituents sent us here to say first is that they support Michael, they support Natasha. I understand that today our request may fall on deaf ears for you not to fire them. But let me make sure that I would tell you this. If Natasha were here, she would tell you that you couldn't violate our rights. She would tell you that just because you're doing this today, which is a silly meeting because you should have done this right in the first place. But she tell you just because you're doing this today doesn't mean our lawsuit goes away. It's still going. And I've had the opportunity to talk to your attorney. I think he's a nice guy. But understand, we're not through. This will continue until you all decide to do the right thing.
Longtime Odessan Gene Collins voiced the history he had with Michael Marrero in developing projects in the south side of Odessa.
I'm concerned about the morale of the city employees, of the decisions that are made in private. And I have had the privilege of working with Michael Marrero for numerous years. Some of the projects that we did, especially in South Odessa, were not originally accepted as necessary, but because of the time and effort we put in, we were able to convince an unbiased council that they were good projects. That's what government is all about.
Several key staff members that have working knowledge of and operations of the City of Odessa have retired early, causing concern with Mara Willis, former Odessa City Council member, District 5.
There is a mass exodus with this city, and I want the citizens to know that it's not because they all chose to retire or that they all were ready to retire. It's just that they don't want to be a part of the mess that's going on. They don't want to be a part that they have to say yes to everything or they're gone. They don't want to be a part of that. None of this is a surprise. It happened 2 years ago. Less than a year ago, we also knew that Dan was being primed for this position. So it's not a surprise, but it's a wrong thing that you did. You guys sat in a meeting with me to evaluate these two positions that were fired and will probably be done that same way. And you agreed that they had done a good job.
Savannah Morales, a resident of Odessa and an outspoken critic of Mayor Javier Joven, would like to see a mayoral candidate in the next local election cycle step up and be a real representative for the people of Odessa.
What I hope to see in the next election is someone that's going to step up and actually take count to what our citizens need in Odessa. We heard Ms. King speak about our poverty rates, our literacy rates, and the money that they're spending on these contracts. I feel that money is the waste. We can be putting it back into our community where we need our roads. I mean, we have so many water lines that are busting all the time. So I'm hoping this next election we can get some councilmen and a mayor that will actually speak for the city of Odessa and the citizens and listen. That's all we ask, is just to listen and have an open mind to what we want.
Commentary on social media suggested that the Odessa City Manager, Michael Marrero, and Odessa City Attorney Natasha Brooks were terminated by Mayor Javier Joven and the new City Council due to the game rooms that were popping up around the City of Odessa.
I can't not control what the commentary is out in the community, but I will answer one question when it comes to the game rooms. For the course of over a year, and it started back in July of 21, I did make a request of staff to be able to add, and I asked for how many game rooms we had in the City of Odessa currently at that time. This was summer of 21. Also, I asked what amount of money was being charged. I asked what was the process to be able to even get a license, because I didn't understand it. And so it was very detailed, and also I also followed it up with how much money was being collected, and to the point of what had the City of Odessa collected and when did it start. Never got a response. It was finally after 6 months or so that I finally went to the billing and collection and asked the department for that information, and I was given a list. And it started back in 2014, currently all the way to that point of 2021. It was when we finally did the final ordinance. I once again asked for that information that was never given forth, even though I already had it. So the thing is that there was this one question that I asked. I did ask the former assistant city manager, Ms. Muncie, who is over the department that does the finances. And the question was simple as this: can you show me where on the budget there's a line item where that money actually goes to? Because there's statutory language of how the city expends that money, and money is being collected for game rooms, in this instance, being permitting, things of that nature. And so the response was, it's in the budget and it's named as other expense or other revenue. Other revenue. And that was the extent of it. Now, how it wind up, like I said, I cannot control what the commentary is in the community, but I know from the mayor's office and from this council, we have never made any assumptions or accusations or inquiries that was anything that had to do with it.
For DRB Media Communications Digital News, Danny Barrera.
Thank you for following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our website, DRB Media Communications Digital News.tv. For DRB Media Communications Digital News, Viridiana Marquez.